My Lord, he said unto me, do you like my garden so green? You may live in this garden if you will feed my sheep, and I'll return in the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. This earth is a garden, the garden of my Lord, and he walks in his garden in the cool of the day. And my Lord, he said unto me, do you like my garden so green? You may live in this garden if you keep my people free, and I'll return in the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. This earth is a garden, the garden of my Lord, and he walks in his garden in the cool of the day.
Cool of the day. Daniel Martin Murray. So great to have you here. As I said at the start, so quickly. We've been playing that song on the radio. And, you don't expect to meet somebody from Kentucky quite so fast, and you're here already. We talked a lot there, Daniel, about the background in Kentucky, the musical background and all of that. What was it for you, though, that got you into the business end of things? Decided, right, I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to go on stage and I'm going to sing songs. I mean, I know you sent a demo to Sub Pop, which might have seemed, just like the regular thing to do, or it might have seemed to you very rash thing. So I don't know what were you thinking at that time?
I really don't know. I just come back from I was living overseas for a little while, and I got really sick, and I came home and went to live with my brother in Minnesota. That's where he lives, just outside of Minneapolis, in a little town called New Hope, and I just stayed with him for a few months to get back on my feet and get healthy. And he's a pianist, a wonderful pianist. Plays on the first record and this one too. And he's got recording gear that he uses for his students. He teaches piano, and he'll have his students make recordings, every few months, just to show them how they've improved. Listen back and so I used some of his gear to record some songs that I'd written, and just by chance I saw the Shins on Saturday Night Live one night, and I'd never heard them before, and I was like, that's really cool. And the next day I saw their record in a store and was checking it out, and I saw the Sub Pop logo on the back, and I just mailed them some tunes, and it really wasn't very calculated. It was kind of.
Well, was there anybody when you were growing up, as a songwriter specifically, where you're thinking, right, I'd like to be him, or I'd like to be her? Was there a Dylan or a Joni Mitchell or an Elvis Costello or some of those sorts of people that you kind of?
I really loved Johnny Cash growing up, and Willie Nelson, of course, and Dolly Parton, and Gene Ritchie, and of course everybody who doesn't love Bob Dylan. Yeah.
Or what about Loretta Lynn? Butcher's Holler.
Absolutely.
All the hollers are coming back to me now.
Yeah. I mean, I loved that old country music, Patsy Cline. I mean, that's the stuff that we listened to. But of course, my older sister, was always listening to the pop radio in the '80s, and so I was getting a lot of Walk Like an Egyptian and other such wonderful things.
Bangle Holler.
Yeah. So it was. I don't know, and I loved music. I loved to sing when I was a kid, and loved to whistle. He used to drive my brother crazy. He's very annoyed by whistling in general.
just whistling.
Yeah, I think it was also because I was his little brother and I was whistling, and it was driving him nuts. But I whistled all the time when I was a kid, I don't know, just kind of happened.
And this album, yeah, I wouldn't normally ask this question, but I suppose it's relevant. Is I mean, are you a person of faith and religion? I mean, is that behind the songs, or are they just, because some people sing gospel because they like the songs, they
Yeah.
don't necessarily feel it, in
Right.
that sense. But for you, is it an act of faith as well?
Coming back to these songs and this material was kind of, I'll say, a meditation again. It was coming to terms with the things that shape me as a child, and because those are the things that make you who you are as an
Yeah.
adult. And I'm not a religious person, but I feel a deep spiritual connection to these songs, and sort of the universal root at all of the peace and comfort that that hopefully is embodied in
Sure.
in our performance of them.
God, it's just when there's more and more Kentucky stuff coming back into my head. I mean, I remember doing a piece with Ricky Skaggs and his guys,
Nice.
in a studio like this, where they all gathered around one microphone and stepped in and stepped out, and I was kind of in the middle of this whirlwind of extraordinary virtuosity, but they were deadly serious about the religious aspect of it. I mean, deadly serious, and that was absolutely what they were about. I mean, they prayed first,
Yeah.
so
It's
I
a big-
know it can happen both ways there.
It's a big part of, and it's a valid part, an important part of that tradition. It shapes it really.
And are you still living in Kentucky? Is Kentucky home? Yeah.
It is, always will be.
Now, there's one thing I want to raise which I feel very uncomfortable about. Apparently you like golf.
I do.
That's not cool,
Why isn't that good?
Well, it is. It is. Bob Dylan plays golf.
Yes, he does.
Willie Nelson plays golf.
That's what I hear.
And Alice Cooper.
Yeah, I've seen him. He used to do commercials in this. I worked at a golf course. My dad was a wonderful golfer. It's self-taught, like he grew up really poor. It wasn't like a country club situation, but he got once he started working, everybody at the factory he would go out on these golf outings, and so he kind of took it up, and I grew up around it, and he really he got me a little plastic set of clubs when I was 2 years old, and there's this really awesome Super 8, silent video footage of me in the backyard as a 2-year-old, just like, hitting these like.
In the hopes that in years to come, the Open champion would have
Yeah.
these little.
Exactly.
And the worst one of all, Iggy Pop's playing golf now too.
Really?
Yeah, that's not right.
Well, and I think in the States, I don't know what it's like over here, but in the States, it's like an every man's kind of game.
Yeah,
There are so
it's-
many public courses and parks. They'll have
It's
little par
getting more
threes
that it's
and-
more that way now here than it used to be.
Yeah.
People used to say, "Well, I like golf. I like the game. I don't like the people who play it." Used to be the approach in the old days, But that's changed. That's changed a lot. I mean, Rory McIlroy, you'll know, is regular bloke, not wealthy by any means, and apparently the club is not a particularly swanky club that he belongs to or anything. So he's done all right.
Yeah.
So let's stop talking about golf because I know nothing about it. So you come from the land of the Corvette, very good distillery in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have the world's largest cave, Mammoth Cave National Park.
There you go,
Biggest cave on the earth.
or under the earth, or in
Yeah.
the earth. But it's worth going. I mean, and if you're into horses, I went to that Keeneland place, which is
Oh,
great too.
yeah. Mhm.
And you can walk in and walk around, and you can hang out and walk around the stables and everything. It was an amazing place at dawn. I had to see the horses.
Yeah.
Didn't know anything about that either. So
I don't know much about horses either, but they're pretty cool.
okay, we should continue this conversation perhaps somewhere else.